Hello everybody, my name is Dooso Radido and I'm so glad that I'm coming back to you again at this hour. I am so happy that we find an opportunity in this day that God has made, that we may rejoice and be glad in it. I'm hoping actually the day has been a blessing to you. If it has not been a blessing yet, you get ready, because this day will serve you with good stuff. And it's even good that you're getting an opportunity to come and listen to me here right now, because who knows, maybe you will hear something here that is going to change your life, or that is going to inspire you or provoke you to move in the direction of better, the direction of good. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some highlights from my book, Why Capacity Matters. Why Capacity Matters is one of my best books that I've written. I love the book. I wrote this book because I wanted to demonstrate the connection between capacity, functionality, productivity, and results. And I define capacity as the ability or the skill or the capability or even a system that is built around an individual, an entity, an organization, or a nation that allows them to achieve two things, that is functionality and productivity. Once you have built capacity, there are two things that must show up, that is productivity and functionality. Now, if these two things are missing in your claim of capability or capacity, then you know that there is something that is not working out right. Those two things must be able to demonstrate. And so my inspiration behind this is I looked at the way life is playing out and how many of us come from what looks like almost similar backgrounds. And actually, in my opinion, we all start life the same way. We are born so vulnerable, children dependent on the people who brought us to life or the guardians who take responsibility to take care of us. But when we begin to grow and we begin to build capacity and we begin to differentiate ourselves by the skills we are building, by the disciplines we are building, by the interests we are developing, then we begin to be different. We begin to be different in thinking, different in discipline, different in behavior, different in results, different in the levels at which we operate as human beings at different points of life, difference in the businesses we choose to undertake in life. And all that is coming from the fact that we have invested ourselves in building different competencies, different capacities, and different disciplines and systems. This truth applies to the differences between organizations and nations as well. One organization is different from the other by the capacities that they have built, by the systems that they have established themselves, by the way they have differentiated themselves to focus on particular niches, to focus on particular service niches or product niches. And as I said, the same case applies to nations. Nations are now categorized in different ways, different levels, depending on what they have produced for themselves and the capacity that they have built for themselves. One of the common categorizations they use is first world nation, second world nation, third world nation. That's a very common categorization approach that is used today. So if you look at the characteristic of first world nation, most of them have built what we call processing power. They have advanced in their technology, they have advanced in their knowledge, they have advanced in their systems of governance, systems of health and security and education, and you name it. Anything about them is advanced and specialized. But if you come to the African continent, that is not the case. The systems are not as advanced. The people are not as advanced in knowledge, in skill, etc. At least the critical number of masses is not. And so that puts a huge burden to the nations. One of my mentors, Dr. Wale Akinyemi, One time in his talk he said Africa is the continent that produces what it doesn't consume and consumes what it doesn't produce. And that was such a provocative statement, because if you look at Africa, basically we are so endowed with natural resources, but the power, the capability, the machinery, the infrastructure to process this into finished goods and products and services is so low, we are forced to export to other nations that have built processing power, even if they do not have the natural endowment of resources, natural resources, etc. And that has been the story of Africa for a very long time. But as I speak to you today, I know things are beginning to change. We are having African nations waking up, and some of them are beginning to build processing power, so that the tradition of exporting raw material to be processed in other nations so they can get back finished products is beginning to change. But as that is going on, there is still a lot more to be done. Now, the situation is even worse at individual levels. Most of us have not built the capacities that would raise our processing power and help us to raise our value at individual level, or the value of the organization that we are working in. At least for many people, this is not the case. And therefore, this book was written to be able to challenge my audience to consider investing themselves in what I'm calling strategic competencies or strategic capacities. Capacities that can help you to raise your resourcefulness, to raise your processing power, to raise your ability to convert small into big, to convert a low value into high value, to increase your productivity and your functionality and your output, so that you don't wallow in poverty or wallow in smallness or mediocrity the rest of your life. And so my argument here is that when we build capacity for things, then we are capable of doing those things. And if we don't build capacity for those things, then we are not capable of doing those things. So let me read you a little excerpt from this book, and I know this is going to provoke you in a big way. I'm reading from the second chapter of the book, The Parable of Capacities. That's the title of the chapter. And so here I say, one of the most outstanding lessons I've learned in the course of my work is that life presents us all with opportunities in equal measures. What makes the difference between those who are ahead and those who lag behind is the capacities that people have invested in. Life happens to you according to your capacities, and you respond to it and its opportunities and challenges according to your capacities. In view of this, everyone is born vulnerable, basically naked, dumb, speechless, highly dependable on the people who brought you to the world. But by way of capacity building, people grow up to be different or to be differentiated. So people master different skills and capacities, and that differentiates them. In view of this, there are no bad days or bad places or bad businesses or bad people. What matters is whether you have the capacity to be able to handle the opportunities and the challenges that such things present to you. The power of capacity that people, businesses, or nations have built is so significant because it is actually the line of separation between those nations, between success and failure, between rising and falling, between stagnating and making progress. And so you can see that capacity is a differentiator. It is the one that sets the line of separation between people who are rising and people who are stagnated, or people who are falling behind. And so my challenge to you is that if you have not read this book, you want to take advantage of this and go to the comment section where I have placed the link and place your order. I have a couple of copies that I'm going to put to give out at a discounted price. And so when you click this link, it will take you to the place where you're supposed to place your order, and then you can process your order and it will be delivered to you as soon as can be. My name is Dooso Radido, and I hope that this has been a challenge to you. It has provoked something inside of you And as you grab the copy of the book and read it, you will be able to shift from where you are currently to your next big level, because it is my desire that you don't die without achieving the best that you can, and you don't remain the same when you can upgrade yourself into a better version by building better capacities. My name is Dooso Radido. Until we meet again another time, I pray that God will bless you and keep you. Bye for now.